Hey everybody, Jeremiah Davis, CEO of Business Funding Now and Davis Thorpe and Associates. How you guys doing? I am back, and I know I was out for a few weeks. What had happened was one of my websites got hacked, and I had to move it around and put some added security on it. I got blocked on Facebook. I couldn't really post nothing for Business Funding Now. So we got all that fixed now, and now we're back. And I have a special guest today. One of my friends, he's been in the funding industry for a while. So without further ado, let me bring him in. And his name is Wes Grammerer.
Gumringer.
Gumringer. Hey, I'm trying. Wes, we are live on Facebook on Business Now page. And we've known each other for several years now, probably about 3 or 4, I don't know, few years. But and we do a lot of business together. And you are, in my opinion, an expert in the funding arena. So I wanted to thank everyone because, as you know, everybody needs money, right? And especially in this day and age, all the things that we're going through. So why don't you give us a little bit about yourself? How long you've been in business? How long you been in the funding arena, and your background a little bit.
All right, thank you for having me on today, Jeremiah. Yes, I'm the managing general partner with Midas Financial. We're located here in Arizona. We've been in business over 16 years, and in that time, we've helped our clients achieve in excess of $1 billion in funding. So we've been in this game quite a while. We're one of the original loan stacking companies and credit card stacking companies out there. So we've pretty much figured out how to do this unsecured funding process. So we've been around quite a while. We do a lot of that business, and basically we can handle anything from a startup to multi-million-dollar projects. As you're well aware, we're working on some of those for you right now as we speak. So that kind of gives you a little background on Midas, who we are, how long we've been around, and what we do.
All right, yes, and I've been working with you, like I said, and I think I currently have probably 3 or 4 multi-million dollar deals in the work with you, and they're all very large deals that we can quite quickly to me is they've exhausted all the traditional resources, and we are time and time again are able to get these deals funded. And one of the things I like about working with you is the consistency. I mean, you know how it is. You got a lot of people who say they're going to do something, think they can do it, and we give them a try, and they always have let us down. They couldn't deliver, but not with you guys. You guys have delivered to me time and time again, and that's one of the things I love about working with you guys. So how are you doing? How's business in this COVID era for you guys outside of me, of course,
Right. Right now, we are busier than we've ever been. With this pandemic, it has opened up a whole new avenue for clients that are looking for funding. I find myself counseling a lot of business owners who are asking what direction to go. Should I do these government disaster loans? Shouldn't I do them? What's available to me? A lot of people don't even understand some of the funding options that are available to them. Obviously, in this time, some markets have pulled back a little bit on what they're offering for funding out there at this time, and some are not. Some are starting to come back into the marketplace again. So it's an ever-changing industry, and you got to stay on top of it all the time. A good funder today might not even be around tomorrow. So there's a lot of shifting going on. I'm seeing that a lot in business loans right now.
Yeah.
And even in some of our personal loan options that we have available, some of the underwriting criteria has tightened up a little bit. But I expect it to get back to normal here as this COVID issue takes care of itself. And hopefully that will happen soon.
Yeah, and like you, I've been more busy the last several months than I have in a while. Since February last year, these last few months have been just blowing up, and I'm doing a lot of the same things, educating people. The common things that I get, and you might as well, is people come to you with one type of funding idea in their head that usually they don't actually qualify for, but there's another funding product that we can, give them to accomplish their goal. And that's a lot of just I learned from you is there's more than one way to get to the money. So don't get
Absolutely.
pigeonholed into one one type of funding source or one type of funding product. So what was you mentioned some things, some lenders that are pulling back, right? I've known some of the real estate people. Some of them shut down completely. Some of them are being more robust. Some of the high interest loan people are trying to be more aggressive. What is your experience or knowledge? What are you seeing? What are you seeing? What is the good and the bad and the ugly? I guess.
Okay, well, what I'm seeing right now is there's a lot of good. A lot of markets that have pulled back are starting to open up a little bit. There's a lot of available money out there for the business owner. It's a good time to start a business. There's a lot of opportunity out there. We do a lot of unsecured lines of credit out there right now. It's the best money in the marketplace, 0% interest for as much as up to 21 months. If you're a business owner, you need to be taking advantage of it. Call Jeremiah. He can give you the skinny on that kind of stuff. And so some of these markets are starting to come back a little bit. Some of these companies that had restricted industries are starting to loosen up a little bit. I mean, I just had a situation yesterday, which I thought was kind of funny. I had this great candidate for a loan, and the loan company came back and said, well, you're kind of young and we're pulling back a little bit. This gentleman made $115,000 and he didn't have enough debt. They told him he needed to get a cosigner.
Wow.
I mean, so it's just weird things that you run out there in the market, which is fine. I found another solution for him. We fixed it. He's happy, and we're moving on to the next step with him to enhance his funding capabilities. So what I'm finding right now is, like I mentioned earlier, I'm doing a lot of counseling, but you have to really spend the time to listen to what the client needs, the business owner needs, okay? And I really find myself tempering the client's expectations or managing their expectations. We had this talk this morning about a certain client where they want one thing, they're not going to qualify for it. You have to manage your expectations and take them down another lane that they can qualify for. And in some situations, we'll have to get them temporary funding in the short term until the market switches back. And then we can come back and we can help them achieve their goals or go another direction. So there's a lot of different things. The market's still wide open. There's still opportunity for funding. There's money to be had out there. If you're a business owner listening to this, the sky is not falling. We can help you. Give Jeremiah a call. We can talk about it. We'll find a solution for you and help you get to where you need to be.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you also mentioned the PPP and the EIDL. What's your take? Your personal take. Should we try to get those? Should we not? I have mixed feelings about it myself. And then we're seeing a lot of people, some fraudulent activities in that area where people are getting busted and going to jail. So what's your take on it?
Well, on the PPP program, there's a lot of fraud in that program. There's a lot of restrictions. And so that's something you have to weigh for yourself if you can live within their restrictions. I've had several clients that have applied and turned the money back once they got it because they didn't like what's going on with it. The EIDL, I don't know if a lot of people are aware of this, but that program has reopened again. From my understanding, though, it's not going to be open very long. It's going to close again on the 30th. So that's Monday, Tuesday. So that program is going to close again. So if you're going to apply for that disaster loan, you need to do it this weekend or it's going to be gone.
Yeah. Have you run into anybody that applied for it and hasn't, is still, maybe got a pre-approval, didn't get the money, is still waiting on it, or should they reapply? Have you seen anything like
You
that?
know what? If you've applied and you have a confirmation number, you're just going to have to sit and wait your turn. I know a lot of people that have applied and they're still waiting on that. And it's going to be months. It's going to be months. And so if you're looking at these programs to be your saving grace, don't count on them. Apply for them, see if they fit what you're trying to do. But definitely let's look at other loan options for you right now. I mean, get the money you need to keep your doors open. You can always pay it back when you get this disaster money, when it comes in a month or 2 months or 3 months down the road. The key here is to make sure you maintain your business, continue to grow, and continue to stay the course until we can get through this pandemic issue.
Absolutely. I totally agree about, do whatever you can. I mean, I'm telling some of my clients, get whatever money you can to get, we can manage it well and work out the details later. But if it's coming between shutting your doors and staying open, and being innovative to continue to serve your clients, your customers, yeah, get the money, the credit, the cash that you can to continue to keep your doors open. Speaking of which, the standard funding, I know that most of the standard funding options that we offer are still, haven't changed a whole lot. One of the things I commonly get is people start up businesses, right? Some of them have build their business credit and think they can get a business loan. What is your advice on a startup business looking for capital? What's the best option for them?
All right. Well, startup businesses, I get a lot of people that come to me that have just started a business, think because they have a business, they can get a business loan or get some credit cards. It doesn't work that way. You have to build up your business credit like everything else. I would say over 99.9% of the clients I deal with in the startup mode are using their own personal credit to do either the loan stacking or the unsecured lines of credit. Like I had mentioned earlier, I am a big proponent of the unsecured lines of credit. That is by far one of the better programs out there right now. You can get access to this money at 0% interest. I don't know where you're going to get cheaper money than that. For up to 21 months. You pay it down, you can use it again. There's a lot of flexibility there. And we can help you, advise you the proper ways to do this. And so that's what I recommend for any startup. You're not going to get a government grant. You're not going to get any SBA money. You need to use credit.
Why can't I start a business?
The program's just SBA. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You got to bring some value to the table for the SBA. You got to bring some money to the table. You got to bring some real estate assets to the table. A lot of people misunderstand how SBA works. You're going to sign away your life, your house, and everything. So you better make sure you got a pretty solid plan when you go to SBA, or you could end up losing everything you have. And they're not shy about taking it.
So you're basically saying, if you start a business, and you're trying to get an SBA, you need to have some collateral.
Correct.
And cash.
Correct.
To basically to secure or give the SBA a feel good to work with. I often tell my clients that, listen, all that startup funding, marketing you see out there, it usually is personal. Either they're doing it, like you said, the credit card stacking or the loan stacking, but it's personal loans, and then using that money strategically to build your business.
Correct.
Business loans, your most commonly the collateral is your cash flow of your business. So if you're a startup, and you're a startup, you don't have any cash flow. And I often tell them, well, would you loan your money in those kind of scenarios? And they'll no. I'm like, well, why would the bank? Why would anybody else give you $1,000 and you have nothing but a piece of paper with a business name on it?
Yeah, I mean, how many times have I said to you when you bring a client to me, put yourself in the shoes of the bank. Would you borrow money to this person?
Right.
Many, many times. And that's how you have to look at it. I mean, are you a good risk to the bank? Are they going to give you money? That's why the unsecured funding right now is definitely the way to go for any startup out there, any business that's newly formed, that needs some working capital, needs some cash flow. I mean, we deal with every industry basically you could think of within reason that's legal.
Right. And a good thing, so I'm going to ask you, all right, so I'm a guy or a female, this is a person that started a business and I need cash. So based on this conversation, looks like I need to apply for a personal loan or personal credit cards. What are the qualifications for that?
Okay, here's what I'm looking at. The first thing I want to look at is a credit report, because everything starts with your credit. I want to know what your provable income is. I need to know how much money you make. I need to know your ability to pay this money back. Okay. And when I'm looking at your credit report, there's a lot of different things I'm looking at. I'm looking at your credit depth. I'm looking at your credit history, your length of credit, your credit scores obviously play a part in it. Do you have any derogatories on your credit? Have you had any late payments, collections, anything like this? Have you had a bankruptcy? I mean, the credit report can tell me a lot. I've looked at so many credit reports. I can look at a credit report and within 5 minutes, I can give you your history for the past 10 years. You know, it just is what it is. And I can tell you your buying patterns and so on and so forth. And so these are the things that the banks are looking at. One of the biggest things with unsecured funding is your credit utilization. Your credit utilization needs to be less than 50%. Okay. Now, you're probably wondering, well, my credit utilization is above 50%. I'm talking your credit card utilization. I'm not talking your debt to income ratio, two different things. Your credit card utilization needs to be less than 50%. But don't worry about it. If it's not, we have bridge loans, we have loans, we have ways to get that paid down so we can get you the funding that you need. I guess the most important thing you can do right now is to allow Jeremiah to review your credit, or let me review your credit, and we can advise you what you need to do to move to that next step. And I think that's the thing that is missing with a lot of business owners out there. They think they're just trapped. They don't know what to do because they're just at a loss. Because this pandemic has caught everybody off guard, and they're at a loss. They don't know what to do. Come to us. Let us take a look at it. Let us figure out a solution for you. And that's what we do. And that's what separates us from a lot of companies. We're not a cookie cutter where you fit here, you fit here, you fit here. We look at each client individually and find a solution. We're a solution-based finance company. That's what we do.
So, yeah, I like that because that's what we're doing. We're problem solvers trying to help people solve the problem in ways that most others don't. You're like, okay, you don't qualify, bye. No, I'm like, well, let me see what I can do for you now, and to help give you the guidance to get you qualified down the road. So, how important is credit when you're applying for like an established business owner that is profitable and getting funding?
This is one of the things that a lot of people don't realize. They think just because they have a business and their business is doing well and they come and apply for a business loan, you still have to have good credit, because that's one of the factors that any lending institution is going to look at. And believe it or not, depending how good or how bad your credit is, it does affect your rate that you're paying for that money, your interest you're paying on that loan. It can have a huge, huge effect. It's no different than like buying a house or buying a car. We've all bought a car. You go in with good credit, you're getting that car at 1.99 or 0.99. But if you have terrible credit, you're paying the 14.99, the 19.99 because you need to have a car. Okay, and when you look at that over the course of a year, that's a lot of extra money that you're paying out of your pocket because your credit's out of whack. So you want to make sure that your credit's in good shape, not only for your personal life, but also for your business life as well, because it does have a major effect. And your credit will affect your business credit.
Yeah, I remember it was probably a year ago, maybe, or 2 years ago. We had this the company. I think it was dry cleaners. They had multiple locations,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a multi-million-dollar deal. But the owners had bad credit, and I think we got them some MCA money, some high interest money, but they thought they was too good for that. But I mean, it was based on their credit. If they had good credit, we could have got them the money they was looking for. But that's like a perfect example that a lot of business owners, they might even ignore, and it doesn't matter how much money their business is making, right? They could be making
Correct.
they could be $1 million business, and the bad credit, the bank is still looking at you like, no, I don't trust you. So it's very important.
Jeremiah, there's a lot of times where I get business owners that, like you said, they got a good business, but their credit is in the tank. It happens a lot. And a lot of times they'll come to me because they need immediate cash right now to pay inventory or to pay their rent at the end of the week or to pay their payroll. I mean, I had a situation where I had a gentleman out of Baltimore that called me on a Tuesday and goes, "Hey, I need some money to make it through till Friday." And when I listened to him, this goes back to being a good listener. When I listened to him, we found an immediate solution to fix his cash flow problem. But we didn't stop there. We didn't stop there because that wasn't the solution. That was part of the solution. The solution was to take some of that money and help him get his credit back in line. And so once his credit was back in line, then I could roll him out of that high interest rate money into regular bank rate money. Okay. And so at the end of the day, he was much healthier in his personal life because his credit was fixed. He was much healthier in his business because now he wasn't paying these exorbitant high rates that a lot of business owners pay out there because they don't know there's other options available to them. And this guy called me, and I was sitting in my office and I was talking with my business partner. I go, "You got to listen to this." I put the guy on speaker. This man was actually crying. He was so happy because we had taken the time to explain to him what it takes to get him to what he needs to be. And to me, that's really the fulfillment part of this business. The money will come. Helping people is really where it's all about, as you have seen yourself.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I use that same train of thought is, okay, this is all we can get you right now. But with this will help you put the money in your pocket, get you through. In the meantime, let's do A, B, and C, and then we can come back, a little later and get some better, money. You can pay this off, and and they're usually always the better for it. It might be a little uncomfortable initially, but in the long run, it's a solution. It's a solution to the problem, and that's what we're about. And definitely helping people. I want to see as many business owners as can thrive, and become repeat customers even. But just to make it, because we know how many people start a business and go out of business, and we know a large percent of it is a lack of financing and or credit to continue going on. So yeah, I'm definitely on the same page with that. So you say, excuse me, moving forward, is there anything that, to me, I'm optimistic about moving forward. I think, this COVID thing will get under control eventually. I know it doesn't look like right now, but we're Americans, and this, we persevere and push on through. And it might be a little different on the other end, but we're still going to be here. I guess I want to ask you, what are some of the things that you've done in your business to adjust to this pandemic, to maybe get more customers? Some of the things that can be shared across any business spectrum. Marketing,
Well,
infrastructure. you know.
Well, we've tightened up some of our infrastructure, which is always good. We've also expanded our marketing quite a bit. We've instead of like a lot of companies pulling back in this time right now, we've done just the opposite. We went out there, expanded our marketing, expanding our call centers, working with our broker network out there to help them to expand their bases, to give them more ideas, to work with them to help their clients, which in the end will help us. And so we've been very proactive instead of reactive in this marketplace. I found myself working longer hours now than I ever have, which is okay. I don't mind it. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy helping people, so that's a good thing. So yeah, that's basically what we've been doing. We've also spent a lot of time drilling down with our lenders that we use. Okay, it's important to stay on top of what they're offering, what markets they're restricting, what they're not restricting, because the last thing you want to do is have a client or a broker bring us a client that is in an industry and you have nowhere to take him. And so we're constantly working on expanding our lender base, our lender profiles, and knowing exactly where to do, working on those relationships are very, very important for us, because we want to, when we call, we want to be able to be on the top of the list instead of the bottom.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, I've done the same thing. I've done the exact same thing. Invested in more infrastructure, more automation, and trying to make the process of applying with me and accessing my services easier for the the user, the end user. So and business is up actually. So I'm good. I'm happy about that. Can you give our audience 2 or 3 just general business tips to get while we're in the pandemic? Just from your own personal experience, what would you advise a standard business owner you should be doing right now, he or she?
Okay, well, the first thing I would do is make sure you're financially healthy. Okay, I would look at my loan options. I would look at my business. I would continue to build instead of pulling back. If you're pulling back, you're hurting yourself. I understand funds are tight right now. They're tight for everybody, but there are options out there. So I would expand my business versus pulling back my business. And I know there's a lot of business owners out there that's saying that's easier said than done. But I grew up on a farm in North Dakota, and I don't know quit. And so if there's a will, there's a way. And so that's what I was taught. And so we continue to push forward and to build instead of tear down. It's also very important to keep the morale up with your employees, to train them. Maybe it's time to tighten up your infrastructure a little bit as well, like we've done. But that's what I would recommend for a lot of business owners. Continue to grow, continue to do what you're doing, pick up the phone. If you got to work an extra hour or two to achieve that goal, you did it when you started your business. Now it's time to dig in and do it again, continue to grow and keep your business alive.
Absolutely. That's good advice. Good advice. Well, we are coming up on our 30-minute mark, and hey, I think it's a really good time to expand or even start a business. This unfortunately, as crazy as COVID-19 is, there's opportunity as well. So if you've been thinking about starting a business, give us a call. If you have a business, you need help growing your business. You need money for marketing, advertising, infrastructure, software. This is the time to look at. And I try to help my clients manage the money that they get. Because sometimes when you get 100,000 or more money, all of a sudden it could be intimidating. But if you have the information and knowledge to manage it well, don't go out and spend it on something ridiculous. Put it in the bank and use it sparingly to grow your business. So those are the types of services that that I provide, and Wes is one of my colleagues and allies, and we talk like 3 or 4 times a day sometimes. And
At least more.
I talk. Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Go ahead. Wes.
I said we talk sometimes more than 3 or 4 times a day.
Yeah, we do. So yeah, he's. I call him with questions and get brainstorm solutions and try to figure out how to serve our clients more. Yeah. But Wes, hey, stay safe and thank you for chiming in. And I hope we get some calls from this live, and we'll have you back again. But so that's about it. So yay, to all you guys out there, Facebook land that are watching this video. If you need some advice, call me, go to the website, book an appointment. I will give you options. I'll give you a plan of action on what you need to do to get ready to start a business, to grow your business, to get funding, all those things. You know, what I can look at your credit and tell you what you need to do, or we can assist you with that as well. So we want to see as many people as we see as possible. With that said, I'm Jeremiah. Thank you, Wes. We'll see you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.